and welcome everybody to World of Bodybuilding second Q&A video. Today we're having the question, Hamza, Naki, I want size, lightweight or heavyweights. Basically, I'm not answering the question, but I'm making myself, I'm actually making another option to answer your question, which is repetitions for size, hypertrophy, which is the size of the muscle, or it's one process your body can actually get or make your muscles bigger. I want to start out with the ground rule, then I'm going to tell you what Lyle McDonald has to say. He's an expert on nutrition in the field of nutrition and workout and training. He's talking about the rep ranges itself. Rep range inside one set, and the rep range per muscle group and per week, that is, per muscle group per week. I will quote Professor Dr. Schmidt-Bleicher, Frankfurt University of Frankfurt. He has been publishing, I think, for over 30 years right now. The link I have in the description. I have a lot of links there, like McDonald, Peterson. I haven't found a link right here, but Dr. Schmidt-Bleicher, I'm having a link down there, but it's German, because he's a German professor. This one, 2007, on actually workout frequency was German, so I had to link this one. And we're looking at a meta-analysis, which basically says we're having 177 studies, and they were looked at, let's say this, they were analyzed, and out will come the number of sets that we should do, the intensity, and so on and so on. Let's start off with the ground rule. The ground rule is you have to be in a caloric or a calorie surplus. You have to consume more calories than you burn. Your calories in has to be bigger than your calories out. Plain and simple, because otherwise your body, if you're in a deficit, your body won't have excess energy, excess protein to build up the size of the muscle. This is the ground rule. So this basically means you can apply those sets and rep ranges and everything. You can apply those to your workout, even if you're cutting, because you're actually setting the maximum tension on the muscle to keep the size of the muscle. If you have a high protein intake, about 1 gram per pound of body weight, your muscles should be saved. Let's say you should not lose a lot of muscle in a cut if you do this, what I'm telling you right now. But the ground rule is calorie surplus. Otherwise, no excess protein could be used by the body to build up the size of your muscle. Lyle McDonald, the links are down here in the description. He is basically saying you have to have as much or full fiber recruitment. All the muscle fibers have to be recruited to actually maximize the size gains. You have to put good tension on the muscle, which basically translates into, in my opinion, is you have to have the right intensity. Okay, the intensity you could describe as how many percent of your 1 rep maximum you should take. And Lyle McDonald is saying that you should actually take about 80 to 85% of your 1 rep maximum. And he's also stating you should have a bearable fatigue and metabolic work in there. So which means basically if you're doing 1 set with 8 reps, you should be able, let me rephrase that. If you do 1 set with 85%, you should be able to come back to do another set with 85 in a certain rep range. If you want to go to failure, do it, but it will be hard to stay into the rep range. So basically, Lyle McDonald has given us the answer already. Choose weight so you can stay between 5 and 8 reps. If you have 5 on a set, lower the weight so you stay inside this interval, this repetition interval of 5 to 8, basically. He's also saying big muscle groups should be worked out with 120 repetitions per week. This is pretty much pretty important because you have to limit the sets that you do, the exercises you do. And small muscle groups should have 60 reps per week. This one, the small muscle group, will be very important for the last slide, and I'm showing you because I'm actually cutting the reps that you should do for the small muscle groups in half. The sets, I mean. I'm cutting the sets in half. Let's go over to the German professor. Professor Dr. Schmidt-Bleicher. He actually did a study in 2007 where he compared muscle volume gains or muscle volume changes regarding when you train your muscle once per week, twice per week, 3 times per week, and he's basically saying twice or 3 times a week is bigger, that means better, than once per week. So this is actually scientific proof, at least in one study, that is actually scientific proof that twice or 3 times, hitting a muscle group twice or 3 times a week is better than the, I'm quote unquote bro split, where you only hit chest once a week, legs once a week, back once a week, and so on and so on. Twice and 3 times is better. The negative side of the study basically is that I think it was done with a bicep curl, that was it. So compound movements are not integrated into the study. But for the biceps, that is actually what scientific research has found out. Let's look at the Peterson, let's look at the meta-analysis, meta-study. Actually, they compared 177 studies regarding intensity, frequency, how many times per week, and how many sets per muscle group. Thing is, negative side, I'm always numbering the negative sides too, or listing the negative sides too. The negative sides of a meta-analysis or meta-study basically is that it is kind of observational. So it actually takes the results of 177 studies for granted and works with those results. And they are not actually questioning the results that have been shown in those 177 studies. But in my opinion, 177 studies worth of data and information and research should be enough to kind of get a rough number what we should do. So basically, I'm giving this more credentials than one study. So if I'm taking this meta-analysis and I'm having Dr. Schmidt-Bleicher's one study in 2007, I'm giving this more credentials. This is maybe I'm wrong. I bet guys like Ian McCarthy and Matt Oges and John Otis Hollywood and everybody on the rabbit cage or lifting for life could actually prove me wrong. I dare you to do it because I'm always eager to learn, but to be honest, I give this more thought and more weight than one single study. Like I said, this was about intensity, frequency, and muscle groups, sets per muscle group. This is what they were saying. They said for the beginner, on the beginner level, you should take 60% of your 1 rep maximum, work out every muscle group 3 times per week, and 4 sets per muscle group. So this 3 times per week basically means for me that actually you would have to do a full body split 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, let's say 4 sets per muscle group, 3 times a week. The intermediate level, they are upping the intensity, 80% of your 1 rep max. Now we are in the range that Lyle McDonald originally stated. Twice per week. This could be an upper-lower push-pull kind of workout routine. 4 sets per muscle group, so this stays the same. And now on the advanced level, and I think everybody always thinks they are on the advanced level, I think you have to to try both of these, you have to try the intermediate and try the advanced and just see how your size gains. And you have like measure the arm and the chest and everything, and see how it works for you. Oh, how well it works for you. They will both work for you, but maybe one will be working better for you. Because this is, of course, more time sparing. You don't need as much time for 4 sets twice a week than for 8 sets. And the 8 sets are with 85% of your 1 rep max twice per week. 8 sets. This is double the volume of the intermediate. So this is basically what they are saying. Okay, we looked at 177 studies and this is what we came up with. So this is basically, for me personally, this is pretty much the thing that I have to go with. To be honest, 8 sets per muscle group. Just imagine doing 8 sets times 8 reps for the biceps or the triceps. Let's see. If you just bear with me, please. Sorry for that. Just imagine doing 8 sets with 8 reps, like here. 8 sets with 8 reps for the biceps or the triceps. You would not be in the 60 reps per week. So this is basically what I'm going with. And if you're taking this, we are kind of getting the number here. So I'm saying four sets per small muscle group. Why? Because on the 8 sets that we're doing chest, we have the triceps in there. We will have the shoulder in there. If we do back, we have the biceps in there. So at least 8 sets of indirect work has been there for the biceps and the triceps, and those are our 2 small muscle groups. Maybe we put the calves in there. So this is basically my little take on this, or my little addition to this, which would be, of those 8 sets, I'm counting those 8 sets with the compound movement and maybe an isolation movement, 5 and 3, let's say. I'm counting those as like 4 sets that we're already doing for the small muscle groups. Okay? My personal take of this. So if we're putting all of this together, Lyle McDonald is saying 120 reps and 60 for big and small. Dr. Schmidt-Bleich is saying twice. I'm not going 3 times because not everybody can regenerate or just feel well with a full body split. So I'm going with an upper lower or a push pull split. Okay? So twice a week. I think this is the optimal frequency for everybody, that you could actually do the 8 sets, the 4 sets, which basically comes down to 7.5 reps, which is basically what Lyle McDonald was saying in his articles. Like I said, you can watch it in the description. So to be honest, and to be like final on this long video, I'm sorry, but like I said, I wanted to tell you why my opinion is this or that. You should choose weights that are between 5 and 8 reps. You should up the weights. You should increase the weights as soon as you have, like, every single set you're doing is 8 reps. Next week it's time to up or to increase the weight. Or you could always like fluctuate with the weights, of course, but the all in all, the overall load that you're moving, if you're moving this and that amount of pounds 10 times, this is an overall load, and this load should increase all the time. Ian McCarthy would say you have to create progressive tension overload. You have to up the weight, up the weight, up the weight, up the weight. So strength comes, and if you're smart and if you're in a calorie surplus, size will come. If you apply all those sets and rep ranges and everything to your workout and do not have this ground rule set up, that you're us Germans, caloric. If you're not in a caloric or calorie surplus, the whole size thing, it won't happen. You have to be in a calorie or caloric surplus. I hope this answers your question. It's not especially, I've not answered it like you wanted it to be probably, but I hope I could help you choose weights to stay in the rep range of 5 to 8 reps. I'll see you next time on World of Bodybuilding's third Q&A video. Until then, I am Weigl from Germany, and